When do you know it's the right time to become a Christian, and how much of a Bible do you need to know? Well, what a wonderful question to ask. And by you asking that question, it's already a really good indicator that the Lord might be at work in your life. Now, when do you know it's the right time to become a Christian? Well, that time is now, whilst the way of salvation, whilst God's grace is still there, while God is still pouring out his mercy and his grace on sinners. It's urgent. There is nothing more urgent in your life than doing that right now. So, you know, if you've got a dinner planned this evening and you're going out to a restaurant, cancel that and get on your knees and pray to God for your salvation. That is the most important thing. So when do you know it's the right time to become a Christian? Do it now. That's the most important thing that you will ever do in your whole entire existence as a human being here on this earth. And it's the only thing within that will impact eternity and where you spend eternity. So that's the answer to that. Hopefully that's clear. Now, how much of a Bible do you need to know? And that's another really good question, because the Bible in itself can be quite intimidating, can't it? You look at it, it's a big book. It's a collection of books, actually, isn't it? And it's lots of different styles of writing. We've got poetry in there, and we've got, you know, biography and narrative and songs and poems and all sorts of types of language. And if we're not familiar with a Bible, we can look at it and actually become a little bit almost intimidated about the Bible. But the great thing is, and believe me, it doesn't matter how long you've been a believer for, your experience of reading the Bible will always be fresh. You could have been a Christian for 80 years, and every time you read a new passage, the Holy Spirit will be at work in your life and will be revealing new things to you. It's like a well that will never run dry. So how much of a Bible do you need to know? Well, if there's not a theology exam in terms of becoming a Christian, you need to know the essentials, and that is all a gift of God. So have you been convicted of your sin? Do you recognize that you are a sinner and you have offended and fallen short of the standard of the holy God of the universe? If the answer to that question is yes, then the next stage is, well, what do you do about that sin? You owe this huge debt towards a holy God. How are you going to settle that debt? You're either going to be judged for all of that sin in your life on the day of judgment, and you will pay for that yourself. And there's only one other option, and that is to flee to Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ would have paid that debt on your behalf upon the cross. He would have taken your own personal sin, and he would have paid for that on that Roman cross 2,000 years ago, and paid for it by his blood. They're the only two options. And in return for that, he offers you his perfect life in a swap, as a substitution, and you are then clothed in his righteousness, and on the day of judgment you will be found to be righteous, reconciled immediately with God, at peace with God. And that all happens now. So when is the right time? Now. Stop the video, do it right now, cancel all of your plans. Now is a time. You do not know how much time you've got left on this world. In this world, you don't know when Jesus is going to return. Do it now. How much of a Bible do you need to know? If you know those key essentials, then that's the important thing that you need to know right now. And then, of course, afterwards, you will be filled and sealed by the Holy Spirit. And however much longer you have left on this earth, God is going to have you study and learn and grow in your knowledge, your understanding, and your love for him day by day, by being so inspired to be in his word and to be reading and to be learning about him. I hope that's helpful.